What's up everyone and welcome back to Motorsport Manager. Today we have got round 3 which is in Milan, and as you'll be able to see, yes, we are in first place. Last time out we had a pretty decent result. We always do at the beginning of the year because of the reliability issues with kind of other teams, so we really do pick up a decent amount of points around this time. So we are leading the championship with Wilhelm and also the constructors. Also last time out we signed Gaston Renault and Claire Talley. They are both paid drivers, which is very good to see, so we get a little bit of income off of them. But yes, we are 1.7 million in debt, so ideally today we're going to come out with a bit of a better result, get a bit of finance coming through, and then we should be good to go. First thing up, we have actually got a politics vote, and it's in addition of a new track, and we were bribed to vote in favour, so we're going to have to do that. I'm really not fussed if we get new tracks or whatever, so we'll just wait and see what happens. Conclude the vote, and it was actually rejected, so the Vancouver track C is not joining us on the calendar next year. Today's first component has been completed, and it's actually a brand new engine. We started developing it last episode, and you will be able to see that it's definitely an improvement. We're going to try and work on the reliability a little bit before this next race, which is only in 6 days now. I was previously working on the reliability of my gearbox for Wilhelm's car, which overall is actually looking pretty good. We definitely have the best components here on this car and reliability wise in comparison to Gaston Renault's car, but as we build more and more components they will filter down to him, so he will have a better car in the long run. Looking at where we are currently with our finances, we are nearly 1.8 million in debt, but we only lose 34,000 a race, which is actually pretty good considering last year we were losing about 700, 800,000 a race. So I think I'm going to upgrade some parts. What component though, that is the question. Our deceleration is clearly the worst on the grid, so I think this time out this is what we're going to go for. We're going to vote on that, and I think also this deceleration to max, because these things all have risk levels and we don't really want to take any massive risks so far or at this point in the season. Just before we jump into this first race, I decided to hold back on the sponsorship last time out, and we didn't really get that many good offers, but I don't think anyone else is actually going to offer us anything decent, so I'm just going to go for this. 800,000 up front puts us gradually towards the green once again, and we can't really say no to money. Jumping into this race, I think I'm actually going to go for third or above. I still reckon we could possibly fluke a result again with our good reliability, and the weather's going to be rainy as well, so it's definitely going to mix up the race. As a result, I'm definitely going to go with this 1.2 million target, third or above. Let's hope we can get something good from the weekend. So here we are for practice. I'm looking to get some good feedback today. Gaston Renault's 18 feedback definitely helps us a lot. Just going to tweak the setup a little bit, and then I'm going to jump into this practice session. So let's see how we can do, and let's hope we can get a good result. After practice, as you can see, we finished 4th and 15th, which wasn't actually too bad. I was surprised we did so well with Wilhelm, given that our car still really isn't up to scratch in comparison to pretty much every other team, but I'll still take it very happily. We're just getting into the race now, and in terms of our bonuses at least, I think we could just go for this, what we've done there. I don't know, I can't even remember what tyres we've got. Okay, so soft tyres could be useful. I'm not sure if it's actually going to rain for the whole entire thing, so that could be interesting. Wilhelm needs a little bit more understeer on his setup, and his car should be more or less perfect. But back to the bonuses, if I can get onto that quickly, which we can here. Quick fixes. I don't really know if we're going to have to be fixing anything at the moment. I know Wilhelm has damaged his rear wing every single time so far, but I think we're good for the moment. That boost for soft tyres would be good, and then we don't have much choice for Renault. So we're going to start off pushing and on a higher fuel mode for both drivers. And let's jump straight into this race. As I mentioned, we will be starting in last place. Renault is starting in 6th though, so that does give us a little bit of hope for this race. coming towards the end of the second lap. We are struggling a little bit. Renault's dropped down 3 places into 9th, and Hume is still stone dead last, having a tough battle at the moment with Rogers. The tyres are starting to heat up quite nicely, so I've just moved both drivers onto neutral for a driving style. In terms of engine modes, we're on medium as well, because we want to kind of eke out as much fuel as we possibly can, because I think we can only have 9 laps of fuel in the car at one time. So just now we've got a safety car, and it actually turns out it was Will Hume that crashed. I didn't really think that was possible there. So I guess we'll have to bring in Renault. I think some of the other guys are also pitting, and they're actually putting on dry tyres, so I think I may do the same here. May as well follow what everyone else is doing. By the looks of it, to be fair, Will Hume didn't actually retire at the beginning. It was Tyler, and then Will Hume just pulled off to the side of the track. So I don't really know what went on there, but we'll just have to get on with it and continue on with this race with just one driver. Okay, so that was a pretty decent pit stop. We lost a couple of places because we did have to fix the brakes as well, but it saves us from doing that later on. The safety car is literally about to head in. As you can see, we're going past crashed Will Hume there. I'm not really sure if this was actually the right choice to go on to dry tyres yet, because it still is raining a little bit. I think that's just about to end sometime soon, but yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best idea or not. So we are racing again. We've already dropped down to 15th and 16th. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. I think it's fair to say it probably maybe wasn't the right choice to go on to dries, because our guy Renault, he's not very good clearly on the dry tyres in wet conditions, because we have dropped all the way down to 18th. We're actually stone dead last. And I'm pretty sure we're going to come out behind all of these guys that are pitting now as well. So a little bit disappointing, but we'll just have to get on with it. Turns out all of the guys that were on intermediates actually came out of the pits right behind us, but they are a lot faster than us, and they're literally just driving past us hand over fist here. So we're struggling. I think we may be in for possibly a last place finish here, the way this is going. We've just had a slight issue come up with Renault. He's actually going to have a gearbox problem. Well, there's a gearbox problem on the horizon, so we're going to have to fix that when we come into the pits, which is actually going to be this lap around when he does his full circuit of the track. So we're going to do that. We're just going to fuel him up so that he has enough fuel to the end of the race, and this is going to be a big old pit stop. I think the brakes might just be okay to make it to the end. In fact, I'll do that anyway, because we'll still come out in the same position, I believe. So we'll get him round to the pits, and hopefully we won't lose too many positions, because we are sitting 7th at the moment. Renault is in for his pit stop. We actually overtook a couple more people on the way, because I think they had some reliability issues. If that continues to happen, we could do pretty well here, but we'll have to wait and see, as I just mentioned. So we are now on lap 19 of the race. The leaders are literally just about to go on to lap 20. The guys around the front are absolutely flying now. However, I think the majority of the drivers have made their final pit stop, as Ellie Nightingale has just retired, which should push us up into 10th and in the points, which is very nice. We've got a little bit of a late charge on our hands here as we enter lap 21. There's a couple of guys in front of us, but I don't think we're close enough to catch up on this lap. So I think more or less we're going to finish in 10th, if I am correct. We're definitely getting closer to 9th, as you can see on the screen, but I think we're just that little bit too far away. And yes, one more lap and we probably would have got it, but we managed to finish 10th. Disappointing, because Will Hume retired. I don't really know what happened. He just ended up in the gravel trap. Kind of a bit of realism kicking in. What would we expect, really? 10th is still a decent result, but we couldn't even get any money, as we didn't finish in the top 3. Maybe scrutineering can bring us up a couple of places. Not too sure if it will, though. Let's have a look. And no, it hasn't done anything. Rafael Rodriguez won the race quite convincingly, actually. He flew through the field. I don't know where that leaves us. It pushes us down to 4th place, 4 points behind Molly Fox, who is leading. Gaston Renault has moved up to 13th, and in terms of the constructors, we are actually still out top, tying with Garuda Racing and 1 point clear of Octane. After that race, as you'll be able to see, we actually only lose 151,000, which, as I said earlier, is a big difference in comparison to last year where we were losing 800, 900,000 a race. So we were always relying on the sponsor objectives. And we're still sitting in 4th and 13th, so it's not too bad overall. And we'll just have to push on, hopefully get a better performance in the next episode where we'll be on to our next race. We may as well do a quick interview. The Evening Herald want to talk to us. And I wouldn't say it was testing actually. I think he did pretty well, so I'll say I'll take the blame for that. I don't know what that will do. And Wilkin retired, so we'll say he'll bounce back soon because I don't really know what happened. He just seemed to go into the gravel trap. We've actually got a lot of time until our next race, which is the Tondela Grand Prix, so this is probably a good opportunity to work on our reliability and the overall performance of our car, get everything up to the max that we possibly can. It also gives us another good opportunity to build some new components, so we'll have a look at that in just a second. Seeing as our next race, gearbox is crucial and acceleration is crucial, it's probably best to actually create a new gearbox. I think we're literally just going to go for this with acceleration plus 10. We could probably get another one developing after maybe, or move on to another component. I know we are negative in money, but we really need to improve the car at least a little bit because it will make us definitely more competitive in the coming races. In between this and the last race, we've actually had a few sponsored offers come through. Ideally I would have wanted some 4-star sponsors. As you can see, we only have one here, but it's for first place, and I don't think we're actually going to be getting first place anytime soon. As a result, I'm going to go for a 1 million upfront payment because that will definitely help us out now, seeing as we are nearly 3 million in debt. So we'll get that in there, and then for the other sponsor, we most likely want the one which is highest in fixed pay per race, because obviously we'll be getting that every time. As much as the upfront payment would be nice here, I think I will go for this. I might actually leave it until just before the next race in case we get another, because I know you can get up to 4 offers at one time. So I'll leave that there and check that just before the next race. As I said, these 2 components would have been finished 2 days before the race if we carried on with them. However, we have literally just completed the design of our new gearbox. So first things first, we're just going to work on the reliability of that, get it up a little bit, and we're going to have to postpone the performance increases until most likely after the next race. So Wilkin's engine actually has a cooling system error, so if we don't pay 500,000 it's going to lose 50 reliability. As a result, I'm just testing this out. It might not work, but I thought, why don't I just change his engine and see if it works like that. So I've assigned him the 74 one with 48% reliability. I'm going to do this and see what happens. I'm hoping it doesn't take it off of this new engine, because that would be a little bit disappointing if it does. But if we just take a quick look, and it actually did, so maybe we should have paid that. So it did take away 50% of that engine. I thought I could be smart, outplay the game, but obviously it didn't work. We may as well get the reliability up a little bit on that engine so that Renault can end up using that, because I don't think we're going to be developing a new engine anytime soon, and Wilhelm can definitely move on to this brand new engine that we've finally just developed. Anyway, I think that is probably a good time to leave it here for today. We are 5 days away from the Tondela Grand Prix. We sit in 4th in the Drivers' Championship and still somehow 1st in the team standings, and we're nearly halfway through the championship already. So if you did enjoy, remember to drop a like on the video, comment, give me anything, any advice, anything you want to see me do, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all on the next video.